How you doing? This is your Abuela Tomasa here once more, o sea, hace una vez más, en este su programa When I Grew Up, I Want to Be. Cuando yo crezca, yo quiero ser. Y sí, yo quiero ser muchas cosas. I still have time to do things, so don't judge me because I want to do things. Y tú puedes, you can do more things if you want to. So, because I know little ones are thinking about, when I grew up, I don't know what I'm gonna be. They always do that. They don't know, no saben qué van a hacer. Well, that's why we have this program. So we give you options and you can think about what you want to be when you grow up. We have people who comes to give us their time, yes, to guide you, to guiarlos a ustedes por el buen camino, niños. Okay? Well, without more talking, because Abuela Tomasa talked too much, I want to introduce my guest today. Así es que welcome, bienvenido Jeremy Park. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here and excited to share what I do and hopefully some words of wisdom.
Exacto. Excelente. Okay. Jeremy, before we start, tell us a little bit about you, a little bitty, because the people might want to say, who's Jeremy? Jeremy's right here, but they don't know. So, por favor, tell us.
So I cover a lot of ground. I've been a professional tennis player, a musician, an actor, but at this stage of my life, I am the CEO, which means Chief Executive Officer for a company called City Current, and we produce and host TV shows. So I produce and host 3 different TV shows, 2 radio shows. I write books, I write columns, all sorts of media focused on sharing positive stories. So I do a lot of media, a lot of philanthropy, which means I help nonprofits. And then I also host and produce a lot of events. So a lot of events right now that are virtual, just like this, normally in person, but our mission and my mission personally is to power the good, to help people, to help our community and make a difference. And so pretty much anything that's good, you will find me there trying to help out.
See, niños, it's the first time La Abuela Tomasa has a CEO. The only thing I always have is a GPS, and that doesn't work. So it's not the same thing. So thank you. This is a good example. You've been in your life, you've been in different paths, different things, trying, and now you have your own company, you are the CEO. But how you end here? How this happened?
So that's why I like to tell, especially the youth, like a little bit of my background, because when I was little and someone said, what do you want to do? I would say, I want to be a tennis pro and play professional tennis. I want to be on stage singing songs and playing in front of thousands of people. I want to be in movies and be in commercials. And I remember even my parents thinking I was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? But here's the thing is I believe, and my life has proven this, if you are willing to put in the hard work and the sacrifice, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to ultimately follow your dreams and do it in the right way in terms of being positive and encouraging others and being a part of the community, that literally anything is possible, because all of those dreams that I had as a child came true. So they all came true. Now they were hard to accomplish, but they all came true. But they also opened up all of these doors and experiences that came back to now do exactly what I'm doing. And so when you look at the hard work and the work ethic and the discipline and dedication of learning how to play tennis at a high level and the sacrifice there, that's a big part of what I take with me today. When you look at hosting and producing and being an actor in front of the camera, that's exactly what I'm doing, hosting and producing all these shows. When I look at, working in events and philanthropy, all of those were things that I learned all throughout these journeys that I carry with me. So my point is, as a child, experiencing everything you want to experience, going out and following your dreams, as crazy as they may be, ultimately will lead you down the right path. And you'll take those experiences and it'll come back full circle to open up brand new career opportunities.
Wow. You see, niños, you see, you can try. Even when grown-ups think that's wrong, don't do it. You can always try. That's why I will still trying. I'm not there yet, but one day I will be. So you can still try. Okay, Jeremy, explain or tell us about a typical work day for you. What it looks like, how it is.
So I'm a late night person, and so I will try to sleep in as late as I can. But usually I wake up around 7. I am in charge of getting our younger son up and making sure that he's up and ready to go to school while my wife gets ready. But typically I'm up at 7 a.m. and then I'm basically working on projects and emails from 7:30 to about 8:30, and then I'm doing media interviews and meetings from about 8:30 until about 4:30 p.m. And then I am trying to wrap up the day. And once I'm done getting the kids to dinner and sports and all these other things, and I'm coaching tennis too for our younger son. He's in middle school, so I volunteer and coach their boys team. Once we're done with all of that, I eat dinner, put them to bed, and then I'm back up again on the computer answering emails. So the thing about going back to the work ethic is my life is a 24/7 fully, functioning deal in terms of I'm always on. And that's a downside to this career is there's no real break. But the good news is we have matches at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon some days. I can be there for my kids and do that. And then I have control over my schedule is my point. Although it's a 24/7 cycle.
Yeah, well, as I was gonna say, just working and working, one thing to another, but you had the chance to organize that work time.
Right. So I can pick and choose, but I go back to I love what I do. While it is work, I love what I do, and I love being able to make this sort of a difference. And so you always hear that phrase is if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. The reality is I work hard, I put the time and effort in, but I love what I do. And so I would do this either way because I love it that much.
Wow. I think I hear that from many guests that I have in the past, and with you, you have to love your work or what you do so you don't feel it like it's a work. And you know what I mean, niños. It's something that you enjoy and you like to spend time in there. And do your work. You do your thing. Okay. Well, I was going to ask you, how do you handle your work with your family? Because but you almost say it that you try to organize the times. Sometimes with professionals, it's kind of hard to say, well, I'm working from home, but right now it's vacation time or it's the weekend and today. How you do that? Because I know it's kind of hard to say, oh, I have to send this email. Oh, let me answer this call. Oh, this. How you do it?
So we do go on vacations, and my wife will pick destinations that don't have access to phones or the
Oh.
internet. So that's one thing. But no, you hear work-life balance. On my end, it's work-life harmony. And so I block out, if you look at my calendar, I live on, the calendars on my phone, but I've got everything blocked out. So I've got family time blocked out. I've got tennis practice with my son blocked out. I've got basketball games for our older son, blocked out. I've got date nights blocked out. I make it a priority to put that time on my calendar so that I know when it's time for that, I'm laser focused on that. And so I think being intentional about taking control of your schedule is really important. The other thing is that even on my end, I know there are certain windows in the day that I will post to social media or I will do certain things. Outside of that, I'm not on my phone looking at, social media all day long. The average person looks at their cell phone 125 times a day. That is a lot of time that people are mindlessly just scrolling through. And so when
Wow.
you look at back to how do I get where I want to go, you do have plenty of time to learn a new skill, to learn a new software. So when you talk about like, how do I get in this world of TV production? You have to now know all the different editing softwares. You have to be able to learn the technology and the staging and lighting and the cameras and the audio, all of these things you have to know. And that takes time to learn your craft. So where do you find that time? You cut out these certain other areas, like spending so much time on social media, so that you can be laser focused on things that really are important, that are going to move you in the direction you want to go.
Wow. You see, niños? Less Twitter and less TikTok and more learning, please. Huh? So tell me, sometimes the kids, when they're in school, they say, "Ah, math. I'm not going to need math when I grow up. Oh, science. Why am I going to need science? Oh, do I really have to learn Espanol? Why? Why? So my question is, it's important the kids learn all that when having a job like what they do. Uh, do you use math right now? Do you use some science? Do you use any other skills that they teach in school? Do
My
you?
kids ask the same questions. And yes, the reality is, although it might not be trigonometry or calculus in terms of everyday usage, what it does is it teaches you problem solving, and it teaches you how to communicate and learn. And I think the biggest lesson of all this, even for our children, is teaching them curiosity, problem solving, and how to come up with a solution and creative thinking. But yes, I write every single day. And I'm not one of those that I just enjoy writing, but I am crafting business emails every single day. I'm writing teleprompter scripts. I'm writing narratives for every single radio show interview that we post. So I am continually writing and storytelling, learning how to tell a story, to evoke emotion, to create a certain call to action. And that is a skill set that you learn in school. And then also too, I'm looking at spreadsheets and finances and numbers all day, every day. I've got to make the numbers work to pay the bills and to feed families that are relying on me to make sure that they have the income to take care of their family. So math definitely comes in, and learning those equations. So it's, yes, while there are certain things you might not use every single day, the foundational principles of language arts, of math, of not repeating the past because you know the past, social studies and history, even speaking other languages in the context of communication, all of those are essential to your success as a professional moving forward.
Wow. Okay, well, time is running fast. But before, tell me, what would be your advice to any kid who wants to do follow your steps? Who say, well, I can maybe do videos and go to social media or do something like Mr. Jeremy is doing right now. What would be your advice for these kids?
I'll give you quite a few because I think they're all important. One is to dream big and not be held back by what everyone thinks you should do. And I was the crazy kid, like I said, that had all these dreams that really did come full circle to giving me this very unique opportunity. So dream big for sure. Carve out and be intentional with your time and make it a priority to learn. When you talk about stepping into this field of media, anyone now can do it. You can do it with your phone. You can do it with the technology of Zoom for pennies on the dollar, but you have to learn how to interview people. You have to learn how to edit. You have to learn how to use Adobe Audition and the creative suites or even iMovie. So you can, as a child right now, start playing around with storytelling, making movies, interviewing your friends and family, starting your own podcast, right? You can start your own career right now in terms of becoming an influencer at a very early age, but start learning your craft. And then the next piece of that is get involved in the community. Volunteer and reach out with nonprofits, and even, on your end, volunteer to be part of the shows. The more you volunteer and the more people you meet and the more relationships you create, the more good things can happen. And then the last thing I'll say is do 3 things every single day that are going to move you forward. That was one of the big things that I learned in college. Is I still to this day do not go to sleep until I've done 3 things that will move me forward. And so whether that's, writing a song, working on a play, learning your part, whatever it is, do 3 things and don't go to sleep until you do those 3 things. And what will happen is they seem like small steps every single day, but when you look back over the course of a month, a quarter of a year, 3 months, 6 months, a year, then 5 years, where you were versus where you are in that moment will be light years different. And it's all because you just took 3 steps every single day to move in the direction you wanted to go.
Okay. All niños, I'm writing all those tips right now myself because those are good. Those are really good. Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to Abuela Tomasa. And more than anything, thank you for all that information for our young ones, for the kids who are watching the program right now. Gracias, gracias. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. I love what you do. Thank you.
Thank you. And maybe in another time, we're going to invite you again to talk more because I like all those advice that you give to the kids. Muchísimas gracias. So, my little ones, thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Remember, if you like the videos, give us a like y send a beso a kiss to Abuela Tomasa.